All right, in this podcast, we're going to talk about temperature a little bit, and there's three main, I guess, units or types of ways of measuring temperature. Fahrenheit, again, is most common in the US because it is not the metric system. Here's your metric system, but Fahrenheit, 32 degrees is freezing, all right, and then 212 degrees is boiling. So, and then again, a hot day in Iowa is probably, 102 degrees, 98 degrees, those kind of days. We've had a wonderful summer, so most of our days have been 78, 80s for the summer. But that's the Fahrenheit system, which most of us are familiar with. If you go to Europe and countries using the metric system, 0 would be freezing and 100 would be boiling in that system. And then, so, if it's 30 degrees Celsius outside and you're in France, you're going to have to kind of know, like, well, what would that be in Fahrenheit to kind of figure out if it's cold, warm, what you're thinking of. So, and then Kelvin is what scientists use a lot. It's kind of weird. It's based on this fact that 0 would be the absolute coldest it could possibly be, and then you go up from there. So basically, 0 Kelvin would be about the same as almost negative 460 degrees Fahrenheit. So based on that being 0, then freezing is at 273.15 Kelvin. There's no degree symbols on those. And boiling would be 373 with 1500s Kelvin. So these are kind of the main temperature things. And then to convert between these, it's easiest to use formulas. All right, and so I'm just going to give you these formulas here. So Fahrenheit is 1.8 Celsius plus 32. All right, so that formula, if you sub in the Celsius value for C and do order of operations, multiply, then add 32, that's going to spit out the Fahrenheit answer. And then vice versa, and it kind of makes sense that this is, instead of multiplying and adding, you're actually going to subtract and divide to convert the other way. So hopefully that makes sense because they're inverses of each other. So here, if you know the Fahrenheit, you're going to subtract that 32 first, then divide by 1.8, and again, that will spit out the Celsius. If you want Kelvin, all right, you would take the Celsius value and add that number right there. And if you want Celsius, you would subtract that number right there. And notice these are inverses here. You're adding it, but you're solving for this variable. If you do the reverse, you're going to do the opposite. Now, notice there's no Fahrenheit with Kelvin. So if you need to know Celsius first, you're going to have to convert between Fahrenheit to get Celsius so that you can use the Kelvin formulas, because there is no formulas with Fahrenheit and Kelvin in it. So basically, I can give you any one of these three things, and you should be able to get the other ones. So, for example, if I give you 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and I want you to convert that to Celsius, then, oops, can't spell there, sorry, Celsius, then what you're going to do is you're going to be, okay, I know Fahrenheit. So you want the Fahrenheit to be the variable you sub in. So this is the formula I'm going to use. So Celsius equals Fahrenheit minus 32 degrees all over 1.8. Notice I get 0 divided by 1.8, which is 0, and it would be 0 degrees. Now what did I convert to? I converted to Celsius as my new unit. So that would be degrees Celsius. Another example might be if I want to, let's see, then convert that to Kelvin, so I know it's in Celsius. I could sub in 0 here, and that's where that Kelvin amount is that we had right up there in the chart. Another one is I could give you, say, that it's Celsius is, say, 10 degrees Celsius. All right, so outside it's 10 degrees Celsius, and I want to know, I'm in Europe, is that hot, cold, what temperature is that? So to me, I need to know it in Fahrenheit for it to make sense. So I find the formula that has a C in it that will spit out Fahrenheit. So I'm going to use that formula. And again, order of operations are important. So going to sub in my variable. I know C, I want to figure out F or Fahrenheit. So order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we're going to multiply and divide first. So that's 18 plus 32. And then I'm going to add those. So what is that? 50. And then I have to look at my unit. I was converting from degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. So this would be degrees Fahrenheit. So if I was in Europe and someone said it's 10 degrees Celsius outside, I would know it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which to me would mean it's kind of chilly. I'd probably want a jacket, maybe a hat. Not a winter coat really, but kind of those like cold football evenings, I guess, is what I would want there.